Hey everyone, welcome to the show. Ever feel like you're trying to outrun your past? Well, today we're diving into a psychological mystery that explores just that. How the choices we make, even for love or ambition, can ripple outward in ways we never imagined.
And it's so gripping how this book blurs the lines between, what we want and how we justify it to ourselves. Really makes you think, how far would you go to protect the life you've built?
Ooh, good question. But before we get too deep, don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying these deep dives. We're dissecting I'll Tell You Everything Today by Rebecca Kelley. Links in the description. It follows Ramona, a young woman who uncovers a shocking truth about her birth mother, Amy. And it's all tangled up in a decades-old disappearance in Seven Glacier National Park.
That setting, though, it's almost like its own character, this idyllic landscape, right? Against the darkness of the secrets hidden there.
It really is. So Amy, we find out she grew up in this tight-knit artist community, but she always wanted something bigger, like a life beyond the canvas.
It is interesting how her upbringing gave her this appreciation for beauty and creativity, but it also sparked this ambition, almost like she needed to break free from what she saw as limitations.
Yeah, and that leads her to the Grand Seven Glacier Hotel. What a setting. This historic hotel with its elegant facade and rich history, it's like a magnet for people wanting to reinvent themselves.
Exactly. And for Amy, it becomes both a stage for her aspirations and a trap for her secrets.
And then there's Corey, a kindred spirit who shares Amy's love for art in the park. And then there's Freddy, representing the wealth and status Amy craves. It's fascinating how Kelley doesn't make these men just simple archetypes.
No, not at all. They're drawn to her spirit, but their desires and backgrounds create this undeniable tension.
And that tension fuels Amy's inner conflict. It's not just about picking between two men, but two versions of herself, two paths.
Right, exactly.
There's this pivotal scene early on where Freddy makes a move on Amy in the laundry room. And while that has consequences, it's her connection with Corey that really draws you in. Their journey to a hidden lake called Shangri-La, deep within the park, becomes a symbol of their love and this shared longing for escape.
The way Kelley describes it, following that cryptic map, hitchhiking, the treacherous goat trail, even pushing through the dense brush, it's like an allegory for their relationship. The arduousness, the sense of discovery, that vulnerability they share.
It really is. It's like they make this secret world, a paradise away from the complexities of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
But this idyllic escape is shattered when Amy discovers she's pregnant. Life-changing, right?
Absolutely. This is where the real conflict comes in. Her ambition, her carefully crafted plans for a future beyond Seven Glacier clash with, well, motherhood.
And it's clear she wrestles with this. But her desire for a life she thinks is better, for herself and the child, it leads her to a shocking decision. And that brings us to the scene on the boat at Shangri-La. We know Corey can't swim, and suddenly this peaceful setting feels dangerous. Their boat ride takes a dark turn.
Kelley is so good at using the setting to build suspense. The vastness of the lake, the isolation, being out on the water, it heightens the danger.
For sure. It's as if Shangri-La's beauty becomes a silent witness to the tragedy. And the way it's described, the boat tipping, Corey's struggle, Amy not acting, it's heartbreaking.
Right. You wonder, accident or was it deliberate?
And that ambiguity is key here. Kelley forces us, as readers, to confront the weight of Amy's choices. The possibility that she let Corey drown to protect her own future.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what she does. She erases Corey, manipulates Freddy into becoming her escape, creates this whole story of a single mother who needs saving.
It's chilling how practical she is. No breakdown, no confession, just a plan to secure her future, bearing the guilt and fear.
And it works, at least for a while. She leaves Seven Glacier, starts over with Freddy, builds a successful career. But as they say, the past has a way of catching up.
It certainly does. You know it does, and when we left off, Amy had seemingly escaped her past, building this new life on secrets.
Yeah, like a seed just waiting to sprout and disrupt everything.
Right, and those conditions, they arrive in two events that turn Amy's world upside down.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
First, Corey's body is discovered. During a routine dredging of Shangri-La, after all these years, his remains surface, bringing the truth to light.
Wow, talk about a twist of fate. It's like the park itself demands justice.
It does, and if that wasn't enough, this is when Ramona arrives.
Oh, right, Ramona.
Her arrival adds a whole new layer. She comes to Seven Glacier looking for her biological father, totally unaware of the secret she's about to uncover.
She's like a detective, unknowingly armed with this thirst for the truth. And that connection to Amy, wow.
Yeah, and their first meeting's so electric. Amy's trying to control the narrative, present this perfect version of herself, but Ramona, she's sharp, intuitive.
There's this tiny detail that Kelley includes that stood out to me. Ramona neatly stacks orange peels, something Amy doesn't do.
Oh, I remember that.
It's subtle, but powerful. hinting at inherited traits, Corey's presence.
It really is. It foreshadows that connection between Ramona and her father. Makes you wonder how much of who we are is predetermined.
Nature versus nurture, playing out through orange peels.
Exactly. And as Ramona digs deeper, the truth unravels, the revelation that Freddy's not her father, that Amy hid Corey's identity.
Wow, that's huge.
It is. For Amy, it's a reckoning. Her facade crumbles. She's forced to face what she did.
And there's this intense confrontation between them at Shangri-La where it all started. Ramona, angry and desperate, demands to know why. Why those choices? Why rob her of knowing her father?
And Amy, strict bear, she tries to justify it, saying she did it for Ramona, for a better life, but her words ring hollow.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like she's convincing herself as much as Ramona, clinging to this distorted justification.
The ends justifying the means, that sort of thing.
Exactly. It's what makes Amy so compelling. She's not just a villain, she's human, driven by love, ambition, and guilt.
Right. Well, he describes the boat incident, Corey's panic, falling overboard, her not acting, rowing back alone, leaving him behind. But even trying to rationalize it, you see the trauma.
It's visceral. You feel the weight of her experience. Was it survival, or did a part of her choose her future over his life?
Haunting question for sure. And what she does afterward, erasing evidence, seeking Freddy as a savior, it's chilling.
It really is.
It's like she goes into survival mode, shutting off emotion. But even then, there are glimmers of humanity.
Right, like when she's going through Corey's stuff, ready to toss it all, and then she feels the baby kick.
Oh, wow, yeah.
It's as if the baby jolts her back, reminding her of what's lost and what she's fighting for. A turning point, embracing motherhood, burying the truth.
Powerful stuff.
And she keeps up the facade for years, marries Freddy, builds a career, becomes a mother to both her daughter and Gabe, Freddy's son. On the surface, she has it all.
Right. Seemingly perfect.
But there are cracks, the nightmares, reminders of her secrets. Her relationship with Gabe, strained, hinting at the toll of her lies. Like her life's built on a foundation that's crumbling.
And Ramona's arrival is the earthquake.
It is. She confronts Amy, and the police investigation is heating up, led by Detective Lenora Swift Current.
Wait, Swift Current, as in?
As in the daughter of Stuart, the kitchen manager who sent Amy and Corey to Shangri-La.
Oh, wow, everything's connected. The past is reaching out.
It is. Amy, facing the pressure, her conscience, the fear, makes a decision that changes everything.
And what's that?
She confesses.
So she confesses. What happens next?
It's a big moment, and Kelley writes it so well. Even confessing Amy is still, like, complex. She's human, you know?
Right, it's not just, oh, I'm sorry, and that's it.
No, not at all. Amy tells Detective Swift Current everything about Corey, the lies. But there's this feeling that she's still trying to control how it sounds.
Like she's spinning it, even now.
Exactly. She makes herself the victim, a young woman who did what she had to do for her daughter. She doesn't deny what happened, but she frames it to get sympathy, shift the blame.
Makes you wonder, is she truly sorry? Or just scared of getting caught?
It's ambiguous. Kelley doesn't give us this neat ending, a judgment on Amy. We're left thinking about what motivates people, the gray areas of right and wrong.
That's what makes it so good. It's messy, like real life. Love, ambition, guilt, all tangled up, creating these choices with huge consequences.
It really is. And it's not just Amy dealing with them. Ramona, now she knows about Corey, how he died. Her whole view of her mother is shattered. Where does she go from there? Forgiveness, finding her grandmother. How do you reconcile something like that?
Yeah, so many questions.
And Kelley leaves them unanswered. I think she wants us to keep talking about it. Imagine what happens to these characters. Think about forgiveness, healing, all of that.
And it makes you think about your own life, too.
It does. Our choices, the stories we tell ourselves. I'll tell you everything. It's more than just a mystery. It shows us how complicated the human heart is.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, what stuck with you? Anything that surprised you? Outraged you? What about Amy's confession? Did it feel real?
Yeah, was it remorse or just self-preservation? Let's discuss it all in the comments.
And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives.
Thanks for joining us.